I'm an ass man. Mm-mm. Yeah, I'm an ass man. Mm-mm. Yeah. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I love to love 'em. I love to kick 'em. I love to shove 'em. I love to stick 'em. I love to flaunt 'em. I love to watch 'em. I love to pick 'em. And I'm gonna kick 'em. 'Cause I'm an ass man. Yeah, I'm an ass man. Yeah, I'm an ass man. Whoa, I'm an ass man.
What's up?
Welcome to Kickin' Ass
With Andy.
and Jesse.
It usually is Jesse and Andy, but he did the first half, I did the second half.
Uh-huh.
That was George Gatton with Ass Man.
I like that. How he didn't do any instrumentals.
Yeah,
I feel like you would want to go like, cause I'm an ass man.
Yeah.
But he skipped all of it. It was like he was a true professional.
This is a true cover. This is his own cover, his own interpretation of the song Ass Man.
Yeah.
As was his interpretation of...
Dead Man Undertaker.
No, the Big Boss. We didn't do that one yet.
Oh, okay.
The Big Boss Man.
That's good.
From North Tonawanda. We did it last time. Remember, he did Big Boss Man from North Tonawanda.
No, we did Undertaker. Oh.
Do Undertaker. Undertaker's going to be on the first episode that we haven't put the
Oh, yeah, we didn't put it on.
the intro on yet. But we're going to do the intro on that.
Yeah, we got two guests today.
Yeah, we have two guests today. The Kevins from Buffalo. That's all we're going to say.
Well, Kevin Bennett is actually our producer.
Yeah.
And then we got Kevin Blackwood, too. Two good Buffalo wrestling brothers.
Yeah.
Kev, you're Kevin Blackwood. Your
Correct.
real name is Lockwood?
Correct.
And you wrestle as Kevin Blackwood.
Correct.
And Kevin Bennett, you're from North Tonawanda.
Yeah.
Feel free to talk.
Greatest place on earth.
Kevin Bennett from North Tonawanda,
Of North Tonawanda.
where Andy Williams is also from.
What's the three? There's Tonawanda, North Tonawanda.
That's about it.
Isn't there Town at Tonawanda?
There's Town of Tonawanda. That doesn't count. That's basically just Kenmore.
Okay.
It's like another name for Kenmore. It's like Kenmore's nickname.
Okay.
That's it.
We're on Oliver Street.
Well, close
maybe
to Oliver. A little bit off Oliver.
Where's the diner we just ate at?
Oh, the diner is the Royal. It's out on Sheridan and Military.
And there was a saloon next door.
It used to be called Flying Turtles. But they changed the name.
It had a sweet name. It was something saloon. Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
It's
forgot.
called saloon.
Sorry to change the subject so rapidly, but it does have something to do with North Tonawanda. I forgot my dad's birthday. It was the day after Mother's Day, and my mom even told me to call my dad and wish him a happy birthday.
My parents still do that too.
But I was on tour. I was in Chicago that day.
Uh-huh.
And I got to go to the Max.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got to do like the Max. I went with
No, you
Punk.
texted me. I saw the pictures.
Yeah.
So
And,
it's a real restaurant?
dude, it's crazy.
Well,
it's like exactly the Max.
Maybe we should say the Max from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Where in what city is it in?
In Chicago right now. But they're going to do it like, it's a pop-up shop. So they're going to do it like in Chicago, New York City, San Francisco, Miami,
That's so cool.
all the big places. That's
And
not
you
why.
actually ate food and stuff there?
Yeah, I did.
That's badass.
I've been on a bender, man. Really.
You annihilated that meatloaf
I had,
dinner.
I had about a 1 pound meatloaf.
Yeah, you ate so much faster
Mashed
than me and Kev.
potatoes, and then blast some onion rings. I haven't eaten. Maybe I was like a 2-time a year onion ring guy, and then I became
Another
maybe
every week.
Possibly 1 week, maybe two times a week onion ring guy.
I hate onions. Like I can't stand them, but I can eat onion rings.
Yeah, because they're great.
Yeah, they're okay.
Onion rings should be like one of the four food groups.
What was the name of the dude who like ran the Max on Saved by the Bell?
I don't remember. You want to hear something? I'm totally a poser because I never even cared about that show. The dudes in my band really gave a shit about that.
It's a
and
big
I
deal.
100% didn't
Is
care.
it never-
They were like taking pictures of the phone.
You're like, yeah, and you like text me all excited, like I'm at the Max.
Yeah.
Like, you don't give a shit.
Because, I mean, you grew up with those dudes, so
Yeah,
like, I
it
don't
was
know,
just-
maybe you had the same...
It was a huge show.
Here's the thing. It was on right when you got home from school, right?
Yeah, that was the
You know what else was on right when you got home from school?
what?
WCCW Wrestling.
I-
So that's exactly what I would do. I'd go home and
Are
watch
you sure? Because like I never watched it.
Yeah, it was on
Was it just-
ESPN 2. And I would get it home. I remember Iceman King Parsons was a fucking huge Texas baby face. I couldn't wait for the Von Erichs to come down. Every once in a while, Brody would be on it.
That's badass.
Gary Hart there, he was cool. But yeah, that was like
I'm not ashamed to say this. Like, if I was a kid and I saw that, because I was so like I was all WWF. If I saw that, I would probably would have been like, nah.
yeah,
Like,
which is
this doesn't
crazy.
look the
to me.
same, yeah.
The other day, I was telling these guys when we were eating dinner that we stayed in I just got off tour yesterday morning, and we stayed in Maumee, Ohio, which is like right outside of Toledo, and there was a local Toledo wrestling show on called PCW,
Powerbomb.
which is Powerbomb Championship Wrestling.
Cool name.
I mean, whatever. For the sake of these dudes coming to one of an ETID show and trying to beat me up, oh well.
It's pretty ugly.
It was it was a nasty show. It was a very nasty show. There was a lot going on. But
I want to.
it let us stay. I mean, dude, the guys in the band like barely ever watch wrestling, and for some reason we were
Oh, no, they got
just
to watch that.
captivated by like how bad
Okay,
it was.
yeah.
Because it was on like a local like public access show, and it was like every typical like indie, like small indie was on there. Like there was an Abdul the Butcher kind of character
all wrapped into one.
Yeah, like a psychopath character that like wrapped his face. You know, had like the
Oh, like bandages.
Hannibal mask.
Yeah.
You know, like that type of thing. It was great.
I never. Like, a lot of dudes get off on that. Like, they love. Like, I remember Delirious loves bad wrestling.
I love
And
it.
Somebody else used to, like, travel. And, like, when they would work shitty indies, they would actually, like, ask the promoter, like, oh, do you guys have any DVDs? Like, and then they would
Yes.
take them. And I don't know. I can't. Like, it doesn't do anything for me.
Dude,
I
when
can't
you
st- I can't
wrestled-
stand watching bad wrestling.
When you wrestled that dude that threw up on the top rope,
Yeah.
hands down, I've
You were in
seen.
heaven.
Okay. I remember the times I've gotten chills watching like wrestling. One of the times I got chills watching wrestling was when Pentagon and Phoenix came out with like the mixed masks. I was at that PWG when they came out and they went against Hero and Tommy End.
Yeah.
And that I got chills at that. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That is so cool because it was like just a mix mash of both their masks in like one. Another time was watching Ryan Saint or
Ryan
Swift throw up off the top rope. And I couldn't believe I witnessed it the same day as
Live?
the World Series Game 7. Because like I remember people weren't even paying attention to the match because they were like keeping track of like a Toronto Blue Jays game. I was like in the back and like just pure amazingness.
The best part was that I didn't know it happened.
You
And
thought
then
someone dropped their drink.
No.
Yeah, 100%. I asked you, I go, yo, he threw up on the top rope. He's like, I thought someone spilled their drink.
I remember like intermission. I came and sat with you, and as soon as I sat, you were just staring at me,
Dude.
and you go, "Dude, that was the most amazing thing I ever saw. That dude threw up on the top rope."
It was, dude.
Did they make it on like TV or something?
It made like
didn't
wrestling
go,
sheet.
It didn't go viral.
I got to admit, I feel really bad because I fucking tipped off the wrestling sheet about it and sent them. I sent wrestling. I actually tipped wrestling sheet off and sent them the footage. And it was like one of the first things they ever put up.
of wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling was just like that poor kid throwing up off the top rope.
He's a super nice guy.
Really nice guy.
Yeah.
Robbie Reckless? Wasn't that his
No,
other
no.
gimmick name?
No. It was Ryan Swift. He had like. It turns out he had like something wrong with like concussions or something like that. He'd been throwing up like a lot. I remember I had like a heart talk with him. I was like, dude,
He had to take time
you
off.
gotta get, it ended up being a heart problem. He had to take time off. But I had like a talk with him. I was like, dude, if this is happening all the time, you gotta get checked out. Like,
Yeah.
Where was
he
that?
literally climbed up to the top rope. Like, you're standing on the top rope. Like, I'm down selling. So, like, the entire place, don't get me wrong, there's only about 50 people there.
Yeah.
But everybody's watching you. And he literally just goes, bleh, and just throws up.
It was so
Yeah,
cool.
there was
Wipes
like-
his mouth and then dives.
And then just,
He
like,
was ready,
nothing
right?
happened.
Yeah.
And then he just like casually like turned his head,
Wiped
right,
his
just
mouth
threw
and
up,
went.
and then just went for the
and it was,
swipe.
Senton.
it was so fast. I didn't even know what happened because I wasn't looking. I heard the pop from the people, and I was like, what happened? And then, and we just kept wrestling, and I didn't even know it happened. It was
Where
like,
did it happen?
Did he puke to the floor?
Yeah.
And then just dove
And then
into
just-
the
Right
Yeah,
to the
dove.
bar. Like the bar was like right there. Just
Jesus.
puked into the
yeah,
bar.
just turned his head, brah, like a lot of puke, too, like a lot. Like,
It was so casual though. He
Yeah,
just, like,
and
turned
then-
his head.
Yeah.
and then, like, did a roll and we went right into another spot.
Like he was
Yeah,
used to
you,
puking
right after
by
that, you,
time.
Yeah.
you did the spine buster to him like right after it. Like you were like, but he went for the senton.
Yeah,
or
it was
whatever.
he probably dove. I got out of the
He
way.
rolled out of
and
it.
then D-Lo sky high.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of puke, how about last time when Kevin powdered after
Oh,
5
yeah.
minutes into the podcast?
Yo.
So the last time we recorded, Kevin was getting phone calls from like one of his crackhead buddies. Like, one of his it was like an old high school buddy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the dude's got some problems. He's like, man, this dude's like blowing me up. So like 5 minutes into the podcast, you left, and I'm like, oh, I figured he went to go take a phone call. Turns out he was throwing up in the backyard the
Yeah.
whole time because it was
was
your
bad.
brilliant idea to have a protein shake with milk and then eat a clementine right afterwards.
Because I thought that if I ate, all right, I thought that if I, would have ate something, that my stomach would have felt better.
Good choice.
But
Yeah, acid and milk.
yeah, dude, no, but you guys didn't see. Like, I thought that you guys actually like knew what was happening. Because as
Yeah.
soon as I shut the door
Yeah.
and went for the door, it was like fucking projectile,
Yeah,
like on the steps. Like I didn't even make it to the,
Yeah.
backyard.
We literally just podcasted for like 25 minutes. And we had no
I thought you
idea.
guys were gonna call me out on the other podcast.
No.
Like,
we didn't know. And then of course, like right after, there's like this greasy fucking Chinese place like down the road,
Yeah, let's go get,
and we
let's get
just
some
do
Chinese
that.
food and celebrate.
I think that's where it started. I think where my downhill,
eating?
yeah, it was right there. My downward spiral.
Yeah, so you left for tour right after
Oh
that.
yeah,
Yeah, and Kevin, you
I
ate,
didn't even that bad on tour, but
you ate nothing at the Chinese
Yeah.
place.
Oh,
dude,
and
you
then
could hear
threw
him
up, and then you
puking
threw up
up.
some more.
Could you
yeah,
hear-
that's
Oh,
what
yeah,
you
you
could.
could?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The Chinese place, you could hear you
Dude,
throwing up in the
I thought the
bathroom.
music was loud enough.
no.
You were totally muffled out in the backyard, but in public in the Chinese place, it was loud as day.
I'm surprised I didn't throw up on the walk though. Because yeah, as
Held it
soon
together.
as that ginger oil or ginger ale fucking hit my stomach,
You
dude.
kept trying to make all these excuses like, I think I got like food poisoning or like this and that. It's like, no, Kevin, you had a protein shake with milk and then ate a clementine.
It was an
afterwards.
empty stomach.
That's why you're
Yeah.
throwing up.
So like I had the shake and then my stomach just felt weird.
You guys,
Like, I was like,
hey, you guys are gonna go and try and work out afterwards.
Yeah,
yeah, no, you're like, oh, maybe if we just get a hard workout in, you'll feel better.
always.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
Dude,
President Donald Pump. over here.
I've never heard that before. Donald Pump. Oh, shit.
All right, guys, let's get some fucking questions.
Who came up with Mount Pumpmore? Was that you or
No, it's
Wes?
me and Wes. But I mean, it was like honestly, like, dude,
Mount Pumpmore.
there needs to be like the whole Pythons thing needs to just be.
Pump.
There should have been a camera on us at like 15, and it just culminated. What happened was, Wes went on like this. He had a terrible skid one year where like his wife left him. He had like this is shit he'd talk about if he was here, but like his wife left him.
Yeah.
One of his cousins like ended up killing himself, and
It was like a real bad year.
it was a rough year for me. He's my best friend.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
But way rough on him. And like once is like he could kind of like start thinking clear-headedly again.
Yeah.
We had this conversation where he was just like, "Yo, let's just do everything that we did before I was married,"
Yeah.
which was watch wrestling,
Workout.
pretend that we were gonna become wrestlers,
Mm-hmm.
and then work out. And like he came up with the Pythons thing. He was like, "Yo, I got this idea. It's gonna be called Pythons. It's gonna be like half just yelling at people to try to motivate them to get in the gym, and two, just calling everybody losers because they're not getting in the gym."
Yeah, like
I was like, "Oh, okay."
yeah, classy Freddie Blassie stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, the 10 minutes before we know we're gonna film one of the videos is like when we think about it.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's just
the
like,
best stuff.
here we go. It's gonna be Mount Pumpmore today. Like we were gonna do like Donald Pump shirts,
Donald Pump shirts is pretty good.
like right when that we were gonna do like I think I have this like I have a shitty blonde wig at home that's kind of like Donald Trump's hair. And I was gonna wear it and cut like a presidential promo, and he was gonna be like my Secret Service guy, or put like a white wig on and be Mike Pence, and then
Yeah.
come up with some sort of thing with like Mike Pence.
I kind of like the Secret Service guy.
Yeah, about like making your arms great again, like stuff like that. Like, we had like a whole bunch of gimmicks that we were gonna like toss on it, and then I probably went on tour and fucking ruined everything. But
Kevin Blackwood, one of the first things, we were just talking about this at dinner, one of the first things I heard about you was they were saying like at wrestling training you were coming along really well.
Yeah.
And like you wanted to be like Stone Cold Steve Austin, but everyone was like, dude's got like long hair. He does like nip ups, like elbow
like
drops,
he didn't see
like-
it. I remember having that conversation with you. I was like, I asked you what I go, yo, what kind of wrestler you want to be? Like, oh, I want to be like a Stone Cold, blah blah. You said something about like Stone Cold, and then like you had just gotten out of the ring, like worked like a section of a match, or you were working on something, and you kept doing hair flips and stuff like that. When you did like a kip up or something like that at that time, I don't remember what it was, but you did something like extremely Shawn Michaels. Maybe a drop kick or something like that, and I was just like, boom. And I remember having, I don't know if you remember that, like having the conversation was like, go home and watch Shawn Michaels matches because you're Shawn Michaels.
I feel like it wasn't quite. I don't think I said I wanted to be a Stone Cold type, but like
Don't you want to be a badass?
yeah, like based around like
Yeah, like a gray
the
area.
fighter, yeah, like
Yeah.
like not a baby face, not a heel kind
Yeah,
of thing.
You could turn on someone in a second,
Right.
but you could also like,
DTA.
Yeah. You actually told me that night. You told me to watch Candido and Jamie Noble matches.
which you should.
Yeah, well, I have.
Everybody should.
I
watch
have.
them.
Everybody should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, you have tattoos on your face, so
Yeah.
that would be Shawn Michaels.
No.
yeah, absolutely. You guys, you guys both just did. Proud of you guys. You went and did the Evolve seminar.
Yep.
And was it Detroit?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, Livonia.
yeah. But it was just sweet
Hell of a
because
place.
you guys, we did ESW in Buffalo on Saturday, and then you guys hopped in a car at 2 a.m. and drove overnight to, what was it called again? Livonia.
We didn't
Yeah.
get out of Buffalo till like 3 though.
Yeah.
They stopped us at the border and like searched the car. Did the whole 9.
Did they, because you guys were legit just going to a seminar. Did they
Yeah, we just
grill you
passed
about it
through.
and everything?
Yeah. Even the guy like getting back into the States like didn't believe us. Remember
That
that? Yeah, we're like we're going to Livonia, and he's like, for
Yeah,
what?
right.
Like for a wrestling tryout. He's like, yeah, I don't think they
Oh,
do that
Livonia?
stuff.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't know of anything that would be in Livonia. And we're like, all right, dude. Like,
Yeah. Do you know anything in
it's
Livonia?
like, do you know wrestling or Livonia at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just didn't believe us. So
I think he thought we were like WWE guys, or something like that,
Of course.
and he couldn't think of like an arena
Uh-huh.
in Livonia.
Yeah, he's probably trying to.
Which we got there, and like
Quebec.
I think that the sky there is always gray. Like I don't think the sun
Oh, yeah.
shines in Livonia.
Yeah.
The lightning was ridiculous. Do you remember that? Like
Yeah.
the storm or whatever. Like it was just super intense.
We were
But
like,
you guys like slept in the car.
In Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, that's a big time
Been there.
wrestling.
It's about
a lot,
half an hour to an hour of sleep.
A lot of wrestling stories involve sleeping in a car in a Walmart parking lot
It was
or a truck
bad.
stop.
Yeah, it was rough.
we were like just by there too. Like the night, like we played Columbus that day, and I told, I don't know if it was you or you, but I was gonna rent a car and come to Livonia and like hang
Really.
because I was in Columbus and it was like a 3-hour drive or something like that.
Yeah, you told me
Or a
that.
4-hour drive.
Yeah.
And then there was like crazy rain. Dudes ended up like going home, and I was like the only one that could drive because everybody got trashed.
That happens a lot. You said.
Yeah. And then it was like
the
a
only straight edge guy in your
4.5 hours drive home, and then had to like unpack the van and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was no way I was going to be able to do it. But I wish I would have been able to come to that. But
Yeah.
It's just cool you guys did that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a rough drive, but it was worth it. Like just, the learning aspect of it.
Well, that's because even at the level you guys are at, and then I wanted to. This is kind of like the norm, but just like when I just worked Elgin and Pentagon at ESW, and it's like both those dudes just flew from the West Coast, so they're on like a time change. Their flight show started at 6. Their flight landed at 6:50. They didn't get to the venue till at least 8, and straight to the building, get dressed, and then go wrestle. Like,
Yeah.
There's not a lot of forms of like entertainment or sports or anything where like people can do that.
You said
it's
that
just
like
nuts.
Pentagon was like putting gloves on as he was like his music.
Yeah, his music was playing for a long time. Because people in the crowd asked about it. I was like, yeah, he was still getting dressed. Like,
Yeah,
it was, it was pretty down to the wire.
What is he booked as now? Penta.
It's like Penta.
Penta El Cerro M.
Okay.
Cerro Miedo.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, but he rules.
Yeah.
whistles a lot when he's talking about matches. It's great. yeah, and easy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he rules. And then you guys just booted back after the tryout, right? the seminar.
Yeah, we went and got food, and we were kind of debating, but we would have died on the way home if we waited any longer to go home.
Did you guys
we were
stay
so
for the
tired.
show?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you guys
we
went-
got back at like midnight because the show started at like 8. So
Yeah.
I mean, if we would have stayed for the
Oh, you would
show,
have messed. You would have been.
it would have been terrible. I had to take off work regardless. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's just cool dudes doing stuff.
yeah.
Because that's the kind of stuff you got to do.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, like, even for you guys, like, doing, you know, I've done my share of, like, seminars and tryouts and stuff, and a lot of times you feel like it was, like, a waste of time or whatever, but you guys worked a match, and Gabe watched, and...
Yeah,
Widow
it
was
went really
watching.
well, too.
Yeah, so that's really all it is right there. You might not feel like it was anything, but it always is. That's because, I mean, even... Who was it? What was the gimmick? Like, was it 2 dudes from the seminar got to work the show? Or did they do,
I'm
like,
pretty
a
sure that's
pre-show
what
or
happened
something
because
like
was Alex Daniels
And
and
that Dominic.
Dominic somebody they had their match first, and they both ended up working the show.
Yeah.
I know they Gabe said that they were looking for guys who do a more like grappling style.
Yeah.
and that's what the Dominic guy predominantly does.
That could be true, but at the same time, if you do something that he likes,
Yeah.
they're gonna use you. You know,
Yeah.
like I always hate when people try to say that about WWE, like, oh, they're not hiring right now and blah blah. It's like they're always hiring.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you have what they're looking for, they're gonna hire you. Like one of the tryout seminars I did at FCW in Tampa, those caught steam because I think I did like the 3rd or 4th one. They gave away a developmental contract at the end of the tryout, and it was $1,000. And so figure at mine there was over 70 people there. That's $75,000 towards FCW.
Yeah.
And I think the first one's when I think Darren Young got his contract off of that one. I know EC3 got hired like after, because then they always, you know, then they would always hire people like afterwards too. But even the one that I did, like, I have no problem saying this. Tyler Breeze got his contract at the one I was at, and he knew he had his contract before that's usually worked.
Yeah.
Like, he knew he had his contract before the thing even started.
Right.
Just like, yeah, usually, I mean, I remember, this was years ago, they used to do those ballpark brawls in Buffalo at Pilot Field. The same thing, they used to do a seminar, and somebody would win and get to do the show. And I remember, like, Scott D'Amore was, like, asking people, like, they pick the guy before it even starts. You know what I mean? But let alone, like, I tell guys, like, doing those seminars, so all you have to lose is the money. Like, it's a good experience.
Yeah.
Especially for you guys getting out there and traveling and stuff like that.
Yeah. Plus, you had like actual workers looking at you, like Tracy Williams.
It was cool because
it-
Matt
yeah.
Riddle came up to
Riddle.
us after and like shook our hands, and he was like, I watched a lot of those things, and that was really good.
And you want to know something too? Is like those dudes are gonna come work ESW. They're gonna come work Smash.
Yeah, and
And
now
they're gonna
you're-
go, oh shit, I remember you.
Exactly.
But the Kevin's from Buffalo thing like
that's
stuck
tough.
in their minds too. Like, they remembered us just because we were both Kevin from Buffalo.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it takes.
Which is great. You guys have a good,
You got a great gimmick with the
great
Kevin's from
gimmick
Buffalo.
right there.
Exactly.
One guy tattoos all over his body, wears all black. One guy
Completely.
wears
Other
baby
guy looks-
blue.
No
Looks like
tattoos
Justin-
at all.
Polar
Justin
opposite
Bieber.
purpose, but
Yeah, you guys could do like an odd couple like gimmick. Like I always like, God, you need to clean up yourself. Like, God, you could be Walter Matthau and you could be Jack Lemmon.
Walter Matthau, Jack Lemmon.
By the way, the other day I fell asleep, woke up midnight, like not midnight, but like during
During
my
the night.
sleep,
Uh-huh.
and Grumpy Old Men was on.
Yeah.
God damn, what a movie! Couldn't go back to bed.
Is Grumpy Old Man good? I've never seen it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
One of the big catches of the whole movie. And by big catch, I mean there is fishing involved. is Walter Matthau is getting ready, and they make it appear that he's getting ready for his son's wedding, but he's going to be late because they hit their old buddy, the old fishing buddy's walking down the street like he just saw a ghost, and they stop as they're on the way to the wedding, and he goes, "It's the biggest fish I ever seen. I had it on my hook. It spit the hook. Blah blah." And then they decide that it can wait. The wedding can wait. They're gonna go fish a little bit. They have a little bit of time. They go out there to try to catch the big one. They decide they need to go back in, and then you realize it's Walter Matthau's wedding
That's pretty
to
good.
Sophie Loren.
It's good. That's a good little swerve.
By the way, I did jerk off when I was a kid to Sophia Loren from Grumpy Old Men because she was so hot. She was 63 when that movie was filmed. She was hot to
How
try.
about when we went to the Chinese place last time, and then we were walking back here, and we walked past some lady with a dog who
Yeah.
just seemed a little off her rocker, and I was just like, "Oh, hey, how you
Oh,
doing?"
yeah.
And it was like
Sue.
it was like 9:30, like no, it was probably 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and we took about 5-6 more steps, and you go, "Oh, yeah, those were the first tits I've ever seen in my life."
Yeah. Suze. You didn't hear that?
No.
The first,
said that?
the first set of tits I ever saw. First set of tits I ever saw was that crazy old woman.
And
that
it's
was
like a
like
50-year-old woman with her little dog.
She used to
and we
live in
just
my
randomly
neighborhood.
walked past at 10 o'clock at night on the street.
She used to live in my neighborhood, and I was a kid, and when my
Super
dad...
nonchalant, just, that was the first tits I ever
Yeah,
saw.
when my dad was like partying when I was a younger kid,
That story
he was
rules.
like, he like told me about Sue. He's like, man, I've seen that woman do some crazy things in her day. And then I was like, it was a couple years later, and he goes, Sue, let's see him. And she just fucking whipped him out right there. Sue's tits, man. That was her.
What was that when you said the first time I don't think your dad used it, but somebody called the mouth a suck. Was it your dad's friend?
I don't know. I can't remember who it was, but I had a childhood friend named Paul Carr, and I want to say he said that first. Like he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna hit you in the suck," and I didn't get it at first, and then I understood what he was talking about. He was talking about your mouth, and I want to say it was Paul Carr that said that, or maybe his older brother. Suck.
What were we saying we were saying this the other week about like shitty like road managers for you guys and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And you're talking about like, why don't you manage your dick out of your pants?
Oh,
Fucking do something for your friends.
yeah. It was like, so I always have this like one gimmick. Like if we have a tour manager that's kind of just not cutting it, he just becomes the fucking whipping boy on me. Unless I like him. Like we've had like tour managers I love and they're just not good at their job and that's whatever. But like sometimes you'll get that dude. And everyone knows this guy, like the guy that takes the job too fucking seriously, but then lacks in every other department possible. So it's like he's super serious all the time, but yet he's not good at anything. And I remember the guy.
Probably the worst compliment.
What you're talking about, like I remember this guy was just not managing to do anything, and I was like, you know what? Why don't you fucking tour manage to get your dick out of your pants and suck it? Like and something like that. Like I always say that. Like, oh, you're a tour manager, right? Why don't you manage to do something? Like that's always like a good thing.
The best burn.
Yeah, I had 2 really good burns on the last tour. And one burn that was like kind of like it's been a couple years. Is like there's always like a dude that's kind of off, and I'm sure like you can kind of equate that to like locker rooms where there's like a guy that's kind of off.
Yeah, well.
And to burn
a lot of those.
a dude, you just tell them that you look like a guy that would have a Nano. Like an iPod Nano. Yeah. Like you see the guy at the gym, he pulls out a fucking iPod Nano, and you're like,
yeah.
What the fuck? Like, you only like 127 songs. That's it. So you go through the time to fucking put 127 songs on that thing at one point in time when you can just get a fucking, like, 60 gig or something like that, or just your phone, or buy, like, a streaming thing, like Spotify, or, like, something like that where you can have everything.
Yeah, instead of that little shitty thing.
Today,
songs.
I got 3 Pantera songs on here. 4 Metallica songs. Took the Ace of Base off because I found out the guy was a neo-Nazi. So that freed up some room for Soundgarden because Chris Cornell died. You know what I mean? Like,
wasn't that at the end of remember in Borat in Kazakhstan he like hated his neighbor.
Yeah.
And when he came back from the States at the end, he gave his neighbor like a Nano.
Yeah.
And his neighbor was all pumped up, and then he's talking to the camera. He's like, "Little does he know, it's for girls." It's so funny.
But like that's like it. Like a Nano is like it's. If you see a guy at the gym, he's getting all fucking worked up. He's all sweaty. He's fucking pumped. You know, he's got all the gimmicks on. He's got fucking wrist wraps and this and that. And then he whips out a fucking Nano. Get the fuck out of here, man.
That one guy at your gym probably has a Nano. the fucking loud one.
Yeah,
He for sure has a
rocks a
nano.
nano.
He's like screaming on every rep.
Yeah, he rocks a nano, and that guy probably only does like 127 songs.
Yeah.
That's it.
A lot of Disturbed on there.
That's it. Yeah. Not even. I don't know if he is disturbed. That's the problem.
Do you remember your other burn? You said you had 2 burns. From
I don't
somewhere.
remember it, but it was really good. I don't remember it.
Sick.
I'll by the end of this podcast, I'll remember. I'll burn one of you guys on it.
Gotcha. Kevin Blackwood, how long you been training for?
I started October 2015.
Okay. And then how many matches you had so far?
Like 20
Okay.
since October of last year.
Yeah, but it's insane. Like how far you've come along.
Thank you.
Tell us about the Smash match. I haven't been home.
The Smash match went really well because
Yeah, that was one of those like I didn't see it, I just heard it.
Yeah, you were on right after, right?
Did you
And
win
you wrestled
did you
before,
go over
right?
the whole thing?
no,
Years
I
before.
I know you eliminated Seb, right?
eliminated Seb and I eliminated Brent Banks, and then it was down to me and Hacker went over on me.
Oh, okay.
So it was kind of like a build up the underdog deal,
Yeah,
like
and then
not quite get the win,
and then
but
Tarek
like,
jumped in, yeah.
yeah.
He's the big heel. That's good shit, man.
Yeah, he messaged me the other day and told me he was excited for that, which
That's badass.
I'm not sure. I'm never sure how guys there feel about me yet, given I'm like super green and new and everything.
Don't-
So
you're okay doing too much.
And you're also
Don't
talking.
assume.
You're also talking about dudes who like love wrestling.
yeah,
Like Tarek loves wrestling, so
Yeah,
like,
right.
he probably looks at you as like, wow, what an opportunity. Like, you know what I mean? If he looks good in a match against a guy that's only got 20 matches, it's only going to make him look better.
Exactly. Kevin Bennett, tell the story when you wrestled Stevie Richards and was it Nunzio?
Stevie Richards and Nunzio.
Yeah, and you were 16,
Yep. It was like
and it was in Jersey, and your parents drove you to the show.
yeah, dude. It was like my 3rd pro wrestling match ever.
And you had you had any training besides just doing backyard stuff?
Danny Danger, he would drive up from Easton, Pennsylvania.
okay.
And we actually had the ring then. So he
Okay.
like went through like all the basics with me.
I'm so bummed you didn't get Ricky Durwald training. Like a North Tonawanda wrestling great Ricky Durwald. Had a hairy back, would get shirtless immediately. And you'd have to do rolls off his back.
Yeah.
His hairy back. I mean, his back is hairier than mine and my back is hairy.
Yeah.
Not that hairy, but it's hairy. And like he had like a full sweater on. And you didn't get that.
Yeah.
I'm so bummed.
What so?
Should get him out of retirement.
Because when you I heard you tell that story, like so like if one of those dudes grabbed you and like put you in a headlock and was like tackle, crossover, leapfrog, give me a hip toss, like you knew how to do that at 16?
No, yeah, like I knew the basics like that.
Okay.
And I was doing seminars with like Thurston and Will.
At 16 years old?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we were allowed to train then. They had that like the meeting place. Do you remember that?
Oh
That
yeah,
venue?
yeah. And they
Like
would,
IWF used to run there.
were they
a long time
running
ago.
were they running shows there too? Or just training?
IWF was
Okay.
at the time.
Okay.
I believe.
And then they would do seminars during the day.
Yeah. So yeah, I had that, but yeah, Stevie Richards versus Nunzio, or I mean Stevie Richards and Nunzio versus me and Danny Danger.
And didn't you wrestle like a couple times that day?
Yeah, it was a tournament. It was a tag team
Sweet.
turmoil. So it was like
Sweet.
I forget who we wrestled first, but I know that we went over on Stevie Richards and Nunzio, and then I ended up
Which is sweet.
yeah, well
Totally cool.
yeah,
That we grew up on ECW, so like
Yeah, exactly.
anything ECW. So like
dude.
when you were a
Like,
kid,
these 16-year-olds beat Nunzio and Stevie Richards.
Yeah,
Stevie
no,
Richards
it
is
was
like
crazy.
6'4".
Like I was shaking. They're like, are you sure you're ready for this? Like, I mean, they had faith in me, obviously,
Yeah.
to throw me in because Danny was backing me, and they really liked him. He was a really good wrestler as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're like, all right, kid, you ready to get in there with Stevie Richards and Nunzio? And I'm thinking, well, shit, I'm as ready as I'm ever gonna be. You know? Like, dude,
choice.
they put me in there, and it was like the stiffest ring like ever. Like I know I was only
didn't-
16,
And
but
Stevie Richards powerbombed the fuck out of you.
dude, he powerbombed me to hell. Like, dude, it looked like I hit concrete. Cause like, I don't know, it was like a low boy ring, but I don't know, the padding, it was just like carpet padding, and then wood. So it was like I would do drop kicks. I even had knee pads on too, but I would do drop kicks, and I swear to God, like it felt like I was just doing drop kicks in my driveway. Like it was terrible. So that power bomb he gave me, like fucking rocked me.
Rattled your brain.
Yeah. So like after the match, like it was awesome. Like we went over on Nunzio with like a double like bulldog. It was like a cool
Hell yeah.
double team move though.
Hell yeah.
But we go back to
Pretty
the
badass.
locker room, and I started crying.
Yeah.
You were a child.
Yeah, I started.
You're a legit teenager.
Yeah, I started crying in the locker room, and the promoter comes up to me. He's like, "You alright, kid?" He's like, "You get hurt?" And I'm like, "No, like I'm not hurt."
I'm just so happy.
Yeah, he's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, I remember Stevie Richards and No Mercy from Nintendo 64. Like,
Just wrestled him.
I'm like, I couldn't believe it. So I went to the bathroom and I was just like crying in the mirror. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like it was just such an incredible experience. And then ended up working Julio De Niro like later on.
Yeah.
Julio De Niro. Yeah.
Did you have dreads at the time?
Yeah, and I did like some crazy chain with it. It was all on the fly. Like there was no planning at all. Like all just call it out there, kid.
Yeah.
He's the first person I ever saw do that spot where like you're the heel and you're on the outside, you got the baby face, and like you act like you're gonna throw the baby face into the crowd and you tell all the people to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and throw him back in the ring and
Oh, yeah.
everybody. Yeah, he's the first person I ever saw
Great
do
move,
that.
though.
Yeah, it's a great move. One of my faves. His power bomb. Remember Amish Roadkill?
Oh yeah.
He had a story because he trained at the is it the House of Hardcore?
Yeah.
The ECW school.
Yep.
And like one of his first matches, Bubba Ray Dudley like just powerbombed the shit out of him and knocked him unconscious. And he said because I should rewind the story. I slept overnight with Roadkill, and he's the worst snorer I've ever heard in my life by far.
Yeah.
And it's because he got powerbombed by Bubba Ray, and he woke up in the hospital and like ripped that thing out of his nose.
Yeah, septum.
Yeah, the thing was in his nose, and he just woke up and like ripped it out, and like so he just snores horribly from a power bomb where he got knocked unconscious. Yeah,
I have a story about me crying after like a cool thing. When in my 30s.
I wasn't 16.
Yeah. I got in this. If I told this story last week or whatever last podcast, I'm sorry. I don't
No, you
think I
didn't.
did.
But I've heard the story is great.
Is it the me fighting 4 people?
Yeah,
Or
you
3
didn't tell us
people?
on the podcast.
Okay. So, we're on tour with Gallows. We're in Oxford, England. I was watching. It was 3. Oh fuck, man. Bus call was 4 o'clock. It was like 3:45, 3:30 in the morning, somewhere around there. We're parked out front of this venue. We're parked out front of a fried chicken place next to the venue. Sorry, that's gonna come into play. And we had like a hydraulic door that's like, psst, like so you could hear it like open, and like when you hear it, like you think everybody's asleep at 3:30 in the morning, so you're like, what the, like someone's trying to get on the bus. So I look and it's Keith, and I was like, and it went, psst, and then it shut again, like it just went real quick, and I looked out there and he was like finishing a cigarette. I was watching the movie The Last Mimsy at the time.
What?
3:30 in the morning. I was super into fantasy at the time, apparently.
I'm a big fantasy guy.
I was super into fantasy. I was watching The Last Mimsy, and and the door happened again, and then it opened again, and when he walked in, like all this garbage got thrown on the bus, and I was like, what the fuck? And he just like pokes his head and he goes, let's do this. I was like, okay, should I go out? Boom, there's like 3 dudes standing there. One dude wearing like your typical like leather biker jacket. One dude, very British style at the time, which was like a long, not like a duster, but like a long jacket that would like end right before your knees.
Okay.
With like a hood. It was like in Train Spotting, like a few of the dudes in Train Spotting were wearing these
So like
jackets.
not
or
like a
whatever.
trench coat.
No. It was very British at the time. And then the other dude was just like some undescribed like white piece of toast.
Gotcha.
Like unbuttered.
Yeah.
Like just a typical white guy.
Local ham sandwich.
Yeah. And then all their girlfriends were just like right there. So we're there, and Keith's like talking shit. I'm talking shit, blah blah, and like the
They
dude,
basically just launched a bunch of garbage into your bus.
yeah.
Yeah.
And their whole like thing was, and it, whatever. That's they were like, when's the next time in my life I can say I threw garbage on a tour bus?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Hey, you do you.
Yeah, but
But there's always going to be repercussion, So I'm standing there, and then it just got to the point where, like, sometimes in these situations, Keith can be very long-winded and just keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. And I'm very abrupt in those situations. So I literally just said, hey, you need to get the fuck out of here because I'm about to beat you guys up.
Yeah.
And dude in the back with the long jacket on, I'll never forget this the rest of my life. It was so fucking funny. And those situations where you have to be hard, but then someone says something that cracks you and you still have to be hard. This is a very, very tough part of my life because I wanted to laugh because it was really funny. He wasn't paying attention the whole time. The dude in the leather jacket was like talking shit, and he just turns. He goes, "Why don't you just get back on your pussy bus?" Like that. And dude, I was like, and I remember just like I looked at his girlfriends, like the 3 girls that were there. I was like, "You need to get them the fuck out of here because I'm about to start." So, like I said something like, "I'm gonna start swinging on these dudes," blah blah blah. So the girls literally grabbed them and like took him out. At this point in time, Keith went in the bus. They're like a block and a half away, and Keith pokes his head out and he goes, "Are you guys really gonna let your fucking girlfriends fucking take you guys down the street?" Oh, and starts like saying something, and then he just goes back in the bus.
Yeah.
And I'm just standing there, and this dude turns like white toast, just turns and just runs at me. He doesn't know what he's gonna do, and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna kick this dude in the face. I'm gonna punch him as hard as I can. I'm gonna fucking body slam him. I'm gonna power bomb him. Like he's coming at me, just there's no thought. I'm just like, this is gonna be awesome. And he gets about 2 feet from me. He stops, plants, dead. Kind of like probably sized me up at that point and was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And then did this like awkward shove, and I just punched the dude dead in the jaw, and he was gone. Like straight out asleep, fell backwards, and I hit him so hard I like tripped over his foot. So I stomped on his chest as he was like falling. And the head whip like made his head hit the ground, and he like woke up back up. But it was like out. You know what I mean? Like he was like his eyes were open. He was asleep when I hit him. Like I remember him being like, and you couldn't see that, but I did like the X eyes face. You can see that on your emojis. And he like fell on the ground, but I like tackled him, and then I was like up against this wall, and leather coat guy like tackled me into like I remember my head being up against the bus tire, and I was on top of him, but my shoulder was like trapped under the bus, and I only had one arm, and I just kept fucking hammer fisting the dude in the face, and both of his arms were like tied up, and I could finally like position myself up where I was like on top of him, and then this dude started wrapping a bottle across my head, and he hit me a couple times in the head, like, and I remember the first one, I was like,
so it wasn't breaking, it was just going dunk, dunk.
Bink, bink, yeah, like over and over, and I'm like, I remember the first time he hit me, I was like, all right, Keith's real slow. So I just kept punching, and then he hit me another time, and I was like, Keith's really, really slow. And I just kept punching, and then he hit me a third time, and I couldn't feel my hands. Like, my hands stopped moving, and I was like, oh shit. And I remember, like, putting my hand back over my head so he could protect me, and then the guy kicked me dead in the mouth. So my mouth was, like, ripped open, and, like, it stood me up. He kicked me so hard. And then I double-legged him, and right then, like, Bagel, our merch guy, like, came out and saw it, and he said that I had the dude, like, up over my head and then just drove him, like, down, and he said he could hear, like, all the wind leave his body, like, on the ground. And then I stood there, and I was, like, just standing there. I'm, like, bleeding out of my mouth. My head is throbbing. I'm, like, tingly. And, like, all these dudes are, like, on the ground, like, writhing around. And then, like, Leatherface wasn't, like... I'm just gonna come on with Leatherface.
Yeah, leather jacket.
He just wasn't that fucked up, so he like got up and like grabbed the other dudes and like took them down the street. There were 2 security dudes from the venue standing 2 feet away.
Yeah.
And I like looked at him and I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Why are you guys standing here? Like, what? Yeah. You know, and then they were like, this is literally the cutoff point. If we go over this thing and we do anything physical, we can get arrested. Oh, yeah. And there's like CCTV everywhere, blah, blah. And I was just like, what the fuck? And then, like, I look at Keith and I go, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, what? And then his response, kind of fucking funny, he goes, well, he threw a burger on the bus, so I grabbed it and smashed it in that dude's mouth. It's like, the dude who was unconscious, he walked up and stuffed a burger in his mouth. Yeah, and then, like, went on the bus or whatever. So,
Keith actually told me that story first.
Yeah.
And that was, like, he didn't tell me any of this.
Yeah.
It was just, dudes threw garbage on your bus, and he took a burger and smashed it in
Yeah.
his face. That was all
Yeah.
I got out of it.
So the dudes got down the street. Now I instantly get super emotional and just start bawling. I'm just crying. And, like, I'm angry. My knuckles were all skinned over, like, from hitting concrete. You know what I mean? Like, missing and, like, hitting concrete.
Adrenaline's just...
Oh, just pumped, dude. And I'm just like that. And I remember walking down the street, and when I got to the corner, they were all, like, on the other side of the corner, kind of just, like, trying to wake dude up and, like all
Get back
fucked up.
together.
Dude's ribs were busted or something like that. And I remember, like, looking at him and, like, remember that scene in, like, Something About Mary when he, like, leaves... And he, like, she breaks up with him, and he's just crying or whatever, like
Walking down the
that.
street,
It was exactly like that, and I, like, from their point of view, they must have just saw me, a dude that just beat 3 of them up, standing there, and they looked, and I was just like, just sobbing,
all by
and
yourself.
and I remember the one guy going, "Okay, dude, we've had enough, man, we've had enough," and, he just like, and then just like kept walking, and I remember like. This totally, like, and we're like 3 podcasts in. If you don't get my humor by now, you'll know it's like all dick and fart jokes. So I'm fucking sobbing. I just got in this fucking crazy fucking fight. I'm like bleeding out of my mouth. I remember I had a cut from like the tip of my lip all the way to the side. And I had my hands were shaking. I was fucked up. And like I'm walking and then I saw a fucking store that was like called like the Cobblecock or something like that, and like totally stopped, started laughing, and like took a picture of it, like thought it was like the funniest fucking thing, and then like ended up back at the bus. I'm in my bunk, and that night like Doug Spangenberg, the dude who did all like the video stuff for Every Time I Die, we picked him up that night, and I remember like sitting in my bunk, thinking I had like a concussion, and like it sliding like my like. Bunk curtain like sliding open and like Doug's sitting there. He's like, "You okay, man?" Like I heard about what happened tonight. And I'm just like, dude, he chose to put a burger in the guy's mouth and like helping me. I got hit with a bottle, man. And like just it was
emotional
fucked.
disaster.
Yeah, dude. And then the next day, like the Gallows dudes who were like at the time they were fucking overs, fucking in England, had gotten an email. By those dudes saying that the security dudes that watch out for your band are dickheads.
Oh, wow.
Like they thought I was a security dude
Yeah.
for Gallows, and I just mauled the dude.
That's so weird.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Wow.
that story. I was crying from a fight. Just an emotional wreck.
And then saw the people you just got to fight.
Yeah. Okay.
You can probably wrap it up there. You guys want to do your social medias?
You want to wrap it up there? We only asked them like 4 questions. We still got to ask these guys more questions. 4 of us here. You can't go. You got a little over them an hour on this one.
Fire away.
You got to get some questions in here, man. We barely talked to these guys. He told us the Nunzio story. He got us the Smash story.
Yeah, tattoos on the face and Shawn Michaels stuff.
What's what should we talk?
Right there's an hour.
Okay.
Right there.
We got some time.
Yeah. All right, Lockwood.
Yeah.
This goes to you too. I'm doing a big wrestling show. I'll announce it now. I'm doing a big wrestling show at the end of the year for the Every Time I Die Christmas show. The Every Time I Die Christmas show is gonna be at a place that holds 3,500 people.
Rock and wrestling.
There's gonna be bands playing. Violent Gentlemen's doing like a 3-on-3 hockey tournament on the ice rinks. But we're gonna do a wrestling show, and I want my Buffalo dudes to have their version of like a Christmas show. I want them to have like a great, just a big show in front of their friends and family. And I asked my guys like who they would want to wrestle and stuff like that, and then had like different ideas for different dudes, blah blah blah. So like with Jesse, I said you name a guy, blah blah blah. Some dudes came up. We're gonna try to get them. Yada yada yada. I asked Kevin Bennett, hey, name a guy. You know who he said?
Who?
Jeff Hardy.
Oh yeah.
Talk about just going for the fucking
going
moon
for broke.
on that one.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy. Not like I was expecting like, oh man, he had a couple good matches with these guys. Maybe he'll say something like that. He says Jeff Hardy.
WrestleMania Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. Which is, hey, whatever. You aim for the moon. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
He's got big dreams.
I'll get it. I'm going to ask him and play right now.
It is my dream match.
Obviously not Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Who do you want to wrestle? If you had to wrestle in front of your family and you wanted to like, if you wanted all your friends and family to see the best match you're gonna have, other than Andy Williams, who would it be?
And Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, well, it can't be Jeff Hardy.
It can't be Jeff Hardy. It's got to be someone
Well,
practical.
yeah. Dude, it's a hard question. I know.
Like
there's a
right
lot of
now, like
people.
who do you watch right now in like the indie scene that you'd be like, fuck, man, that would be awesome. Like someone that would be tailor made for you.
I don't know. I've always wanted to wrestle Ricochet.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
Would be
I mean,
fucking
he's
awesome.
he's popular and
Of
like, super
course. That
relevant.
is pretty
But
good.
I've been watching that dude for years.
Of
too,
course.
You know. So I mean, Ricochet would be awesome.
Yeah.
He is for like the high flying stuff. He is like the guy.
Oh, yeah.
So in that sense, you know, with
Yeah.
with the high flying and things like that, Ricochet would be awesome.
Yeah.
Good answer.
You know, yeah.
That's a great answer.
How about you?
Kevin.
I want Nate
Yeah?
Brody King
I love this.
because
Let's start a feud right now.
because
That's
he
pretty
is
good
like
idea.
a foot taller than me, but I mean, aside from the fact that he's like extra, like way more lucha than me,
Yeah.
we're both like a combination of like blunt striking
Yes.
and like kind of high flying shit. And I feel like if I took a dive on him and then immediately after he took a dive on me,
Yeah.
like
You're done.
yeah,
Match is
I would
over.
take it. I would take it.
Because I was saying,
6'5", 270.
because I was thinking like I
would
kept thinking
say-
about like Nate with
I know
like
you
big
would.
guys. And as I was like oh like Nate and like big time Bill Coyer, and then I was like oh shit, but like I was trying to think of somebody else, and like yeah, you're like perfect.
Yeah.
Like more for his style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that'd
It'd
be
be unreal. It's booked.
yeah.
Right there. It's booked.
Like you
Nate's
said.
going to be there,
Yeah, like you said,
and you're going to be there.
Nate the luchador that looks like Bruiser Brody.
Yeah. He's insane, man. Like, if you guys don't know who we're talking about, one, you should look up everybody here. Two, look up Brody King, because Brody King is... Things like that don't happen with dudes that big. And, like, the thing... I mean, at his, like, discretion...
His
like,
energy levels are like through the roof.
yeah. And, like, what's crazy about him is, like, for me, there's some lucha stuff that just goes over my head. It's just...
Same here.
I can't grab onto what's happening, and Nate's like the guy where like he'll be
I
like,
guess this goes for anything, but for me, for like lucha, like if it's done really well, it's awesome.
oh yeah.
But-
Like he like, and that's the thing with Nate. He's fortunate enough to be around one of the best lucha schools there is, which is Santino Bros in L.A. And so like for him being 6'5" and 270. He
Doing
has
lucha.
to do that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he like learned that stuff like early on, and he can grab it. So like sometimes he'll
Definitely
like
cool for him to have in his back pocket
for
at
sure.
all times.
But he'll come up with like things like, oh, did you see this match from AAA or whatever like that? I'm just like, no. And then like he'll be like,
Sorry, I
you
missed
know, watch this match, and then like I'll watch the match and I'll be like, okay, it was cool. But like it's just too much stuff going on. But then he can break it down for me to where I can watch it and then go, oh shit, okay, I did see that. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. You know what I mean? And that's like for
Because lucha is it's just a whole different style.
Yeah.
Like if you don't understand it, then
And that's what's crazy, like, about us. I mean, like, and he'll say, I mean, I've had this conversation with him, too, is, like, coming from the East Coast, like, we're so fortunate enough to have so much wrestling.
yeah.
Like, you, especially where we live, like, in New York, like, you can go into Canada and you can work. You can go even farther east,
Yeah.
and work.
And out east.
You can go a little bit west and, like,
Yeah.
have a bunch of wrestling. You can go
Yeah,
down
Cleveland-
south and start wrestling.
Cleveland's 3 hours. And
Yeah, I mean, like-
Jersey's realistic, like 7 hours.
Nate's on an island
Yeah.
out there.
And then trying to get someone to fly out to the East Coast.
Yeah, and it's and like for him, like, you know, Santino Bros, that like type of wrestling is what's hot out there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, and,
Yeah,
like
no,
I
even,
get it.
even when Carl went out there, Carl Anderson was on the West Coast. Yeah, there was like a lot of lucha schools.
Yeah.
because even when the New Japan Dojo closed, it turned into a lucha place.
Yeah,
'Cause,
and like that's the thing. Like he's on an island. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And like
what they do.
once he gets out to the East Coast, man, it's like, and he starts wrestling all these crazy different styles. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be nuts.
Yeah.
The guy's he's like fortunate enough to have all the physical abilities and then some
Well,
because he started in lucha.
two funny things I just thought. A really funny tweet from the other day was, Pete Dunne just won the
Yeah.
UK title, and he put up a tweet how years ago he had flown himself to the US, and he watched Raw at the arena that he won the UK title in.
Yeah.
He was just there watching Raw, and
Yeah.
now years later, he just won the UK title
Yeah.
at that arena. And then Jimmy Havoc quoted the tweet, and he said, "Yeah, guys, you really got to stop paying for your own flights places. This is ruining the business."
yeah.
pretty funny. And then number 2 was like you were just saying about Nate. Like when I trained at Cincinnati HWA, Nigel McGuinness was there, and this was like before Nigel had been training for a while before I got there, and there used to be a little high flyer guy, Jeremy Jett, and everyone said that Jeremy was the only one at the school that was interested in like lucha stuff. So Nigel was like green at the time, so Jeremy would get Nigel to like practice all this lucha stuff with him.
Yeah.
And I guess like Nigel was like constantly hurting himself and just like botching stuff. But like so like Nigel could always do this one. He would like do like a finger lock, and then he could jump up to the top rope, and stand on the top rope, and then he would jump and sit on the top rope and flip his feet up, like so like I mean. But that was just so out of nowhere, and like he would just pull it out once in a while, and like the crowd would just lose their mind. It was just like, whoa, what the fuck? Where the fuck did that come from?
Well, like
You know
that's
what
the thing. Like think of like getting back to like Pete Dunne. Mm-hmm. Did you see that picture that he posted today with Neville?
I mean? That was great.
How crazy is that?
Awesome.
Super cool.
So like take that. Perfect example is take Neville.
Yeah.
Where Neville was like a dude that literally went everywhere on Earth.
Yeah.
And like trained and wrestled. You know what I mean? So like, and now you're
Hero
seeing
and Claudio
it.
did the same thing.
Yeah.
They just trained everywhere.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and like I think that Nate's like being on that island, like in the middle of just California, like he's coming from like such a strong base, but he also knows like he's into Japanese wrestling. He's into, you know, American based wrestling and like, you know, UK stuff. Once he starts like working more of those matches, being that big, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because he said at that size too.
Yeah.
I always remember. This was before I was at Cincinnati, but they always did the Brian Pillman Memorial Event show there.
God, I wish I could just
One of the ones I wasn't at, Jericho and Benoit was the main event.
Yeah.
And I guess they at that point even already they had worked like a million times together.
Yeah.
And I guess they asked Les, they were like, "What do you want? Do you want us to do like a Mexican style match, like Japanese style? Like, what do you want us to do?" And Les was like, "Just tear the house down." And that's what they did.
amazing.
Yeah, and also hilarious was they've worked together a million times. And Jericho, the opening lockup, Benoit headbutted Jericho in the eyebrow, and he had to get stitches.
Just right away.
Yeah, like first thing.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, Nate versus fucking you. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be like
Good
the
shit.
best.
Which will be like, I know a lot of people that are there for the E-Tid show will know him from God's Hate,
Yeah.
and they'll be rooting for him, and then
Yeah.
the hometown people.
It's just gonna be
And you're a
awesome.
local hardcore dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Killer stuff.
that's gonna be sick.
Yeah, and Kevin Bennett versus Joey Janela.
Yeah, that's gonna be sweet. I'm saying right now, if Joey's open, Joey versus Kevin Bennett's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I think I already brought it up to him too, and he said it was cool. Like I remember him bringing your name up, and he was like, "Oh, I've heard of that dude."
Yeah.
So that would be awesome.
It's just so cool that I mentioned before you have been talking about this for over 10 years, and this year it's
Yeah.
actually going to finally happen.
Yeah,
It's pretty sweet.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome. A dream come true. Hopefully, both my legs break that day, and I retire.
The be all end all of your
Yeah.
wrestling career.
It's gonna be in a Pythons match versus some gimmick in a match. I'm gonna throw 3 moves. That's it.
Both of your knees explode.
Yeah, it's gonna, and one of the moves is gonna be like a double eye poke, and then I'm gonna try to bench press a guy, and my legs are gonna break. That's gonna be it.
Your Achilles just.
At that point in time, though, I will had already wrestled like for Smash a bunch, and I don't know. I'm wrestling like Seb coming up in London
we
on
got
the
a tag
9th,
match. We got
and
a
then
tag match on the 8th.
yeah, me and Kevin are for the first time. Me and Kevin are gonna tag together.
It's me and Joe Coleman.
Yeah, which is gonna be awesome.
No, it's-
I'm pretty stoked that Joe's in that match though, because
He's great.
I can probably pull some Python stuff out with him
No, absolutely.
and do some like jockey like pump stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
If he, like,
comes
does-
to the ring with a jug of protein, kind of writes itself.
That's great. I was so pumped when I saw that. That was there. Oh, we shouldn't be talking about this. I hate your guts right now.
Let's be real.
Yeah. Let's be real.
Let's be real.
Hey, let's talk real here for a second. Not shoot. Yeah. All right. So, all right. How about this? This is a good question. When you first thought that you were going to become a wrestler,
Yeah.
the first thing you thought of was theme song.
Oof.
right? Had to have been.
I don't think so.
Come on, man.
No.
You weren't
me,
thinking
it
about
was.
locking up. You were thinking about what song you were gonna walk out to.
No.
What song? What was the first thing when you first thought and you knew this was gonna happen? The first song you were like, "That's it. That's the one I'm walking out to."
Well, now I'm trying to think. Because, I mean, I did backyard wrestling. So it was probably like a rap song.
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. It was probably.
I remember
either-
you guys
either a
getting
Korn-
down in a
either-
Limp Bizkit pit.
Either a Korn or a Limp Bizkit or a rap song. Or maybe an ICP song. Wait, so like, just as
When I was a kid,
dreaming about wrestling, like what song I was
what I was gonna come out to, because I remember when going back to WCCW, which was my thing. You knew I was never a WWE guy.
Yeah.
Knew about it, watched it when it was on,
Yeah.
but I didn't follow it as much as I wanted to know about WCCW or like NWA. And I thought it was fucking insane that the Road Warriors came out to Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then like Kerry Von Erich came out to Tom Sawyer
Yeah.
by Rush.
That rules.
It was like the fucking the most killer thing in the world.
Yeah.
I don't remember what mine was, but I'm
Come
sure it was
on.
probably Slayer.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure. And you know me, I love weird theme songs.
Yeah.
I told him this because I want to start doing a gimmick.
What was
I want
the one? Creedence Clearwater.
Yeah, I want to start doing this gimmick called Warhorse Williams, where basically it's just me being like a white dude in the 90s in Japan, but not like a young guy, like Stan Hansen at 43 when he's got the Triple Crown. You know, like that type of guy where like I'm hurting, like almost like make it seem like I have an elbow injury, just wrap it up anyways.
Yeah. Just
Like
so
I
you
just
more-
look wrapped
You look
up.
more grizzled.
Yeah. And I want to come out to this song, Sinister Purpose.
It's a great song.
By Creedence Clearwater
Super
Revival.
weird theme music.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like different theme music, but man,
It's a little weird.
If you can pull that off,
I would pull it off.
just being Andy Williams or Warhorse, I'd be impressed.
Yeah. Which would be cool.
Yeah.
Or just like, and then, you know, like there's a million nicknames for Randy Orton. Like he's got a million nicknames.
Yeah.
Like Sinister Purpose would be one of mine.
That's pretty good.
But it wouldn't because people would just hear it.
Yeah. Like I just can't see you pulling it off.
Arms up, spitting water on like
Yeah, but
kids.
like you can't do that to that song. It doesn't fit.
Yeah, right. A little air
It doesn't
guitar.
like it doesn't kick in or anything. Like it's just super chill.
It's so cool. Yeah. That wasn't it though. When I was a kid, I was probably like a Black Sabbath song or something like that. I can imagine, or Metallica.
I'm pulling up Sinister, so keep
Yeah.
'cause
Pull it
it's-
up.
yeah.
Sinister Purpose.
Mine was Corn.
Corn.
Backyard.
Which
yeah.
one?
Corn Blind? That was probably
It was
mine.
it was a Twist by Corn.
Oh,
Do you want to know my backyard music?
Yeah.
If you never came to an EGW show, huh?
No.
It was awesome. That's where I peaked.
Yeah.
I peaked at 21. You're telling me this isn't cool?
You'd have to do the overalls.
No way.
For sure.
You're just gonna walk to the ring like a
Because I am.
For sure,
like
overalls.
pissed off. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's a cool song.
It's a super cool song.
When
Here's
the skies are green.
No, wet overalls.
Yeah.
super wet beard. I don't know, man.
Well, yeah, I'll come up with something else.
I wish I want to support it, but I like different stuff.
So this was mine. I remember when we were doing EGW, I was like 17, 18 years old, and I used to come out to do Host.
Ramstein.
Yeah, but I had two characters. I had one under a hood, and I had Billy Goat Williams. Billy Goat Williams wore overalls,
Yeah.
had a goatee.
Oh, okay. Was the hood one the Duhast theme music?
Yeah, and that was Ballsy Malone.
Ballsy Malone.
And I had the Malones were my like thing, and it was like West with Skeletor Malone. He would wear like a skull mask and pull his like hair through the skull. He had like this.
rules.
He had like this weird Friar Tuck hair. Like it was like straight, just like a bowl cut that was like all the way around his head. He would like pull it out of his thing. I had 3 characters because I was also Francis Gonads. I was the I was the heater for Sweet Titties, which was a tag team. It was Sweet Steve Titties.
Sweet titties.
Yeah, it was Sweet Steve Titties.
Yeah.
Wait, no. It was Stephen Titties and like Michael Sweet or something like that. Like it was like that, but I was Francis Gonads, their manager.
The funniest thing about like my backyard experience was that like we thought we were so awesome because there was another one called CWF with Scott Katuza.
Yeah.
And like that's because we were like we all got this idea together. Remember we got together in the cafeteria and like we were all pumped up. And then we were like, oh, there's another promotion like doing this. And we went and watched the show and we're like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
And then we did it and we thought like we were called HCW Hardcore Wrestling.
Yep.
Which we thought was really original. Turns out John McChesney and Caesar were in a HCW in Erie, Pennsylvania doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
We thought like we were the only kids like we loved ICP, we did backyard wrestling. We thought we were the only kids doing this. And then like years later, like a backyard wrestling video game comes out, like a whole video of like kids doing it all throughout the country. They all loved ICP. Everyone was doing the exact same thing.
Do you remember what fueled it?
What us doing backyard wrestling?
Where like the idea came from. Where like you guys were just like, because it was like you. Who was the brainchild? Was
me,
you,
Neil, and Tiny?
Okay, well for sure.
Yeah, and I mean definitely a trampoline because we started doing.
But there wasn't like a picture or a video or anything like that
of like other backyard.
You've heard
fads?
mine, right?
No.
You never heard mine.
No.
So I read this.
We literally thought we created backyard wrestling.
Yeah, no.
we thought we were the only ones.
Same here.
And I'll tell you right
and
now.
then we found people that had the exact same name doing the exact same thing 2 hours away.
1995. This is 1995. I had a, and I'm not saying I'm the one that invented it. I'll tell you where I got the idea from. In 1995, I had to do a film project for a class that I was in, and I wanted to do a wrestling show. So I did at that time, and I remember I was fucking Mr. Incredible, Andy Williams, and I wore my track outfit. Because I
Mr. Wonderful.
ran track.
Mr. Incredible.
Yeah. So, and I did like a little short. And the reason why I got the idea to do it in the backyard was because I saw a picture of Quackenbush doing a fucking moonsault off of a picnic table.
Oh, okay.
And it said that he was doing like backyard wrestling. This is like 95.
Yeah.
So then immediately, as soon as I got that, and I met Wes, I think I met Wes right around that time, would have been like 95. And he was like, yo, we should do like a backyard fed. And then we had the why can't I think of their names right now? Jesus Christ. Matt McCabe and his brother, Chris. Yeah. We used their side yard. Gotcha. And then like Jay Toy, we all had like gimmicks and did it. And then like every once in a while we would like draw like 150 to 200 people would come watch this shit. I remember hitting Matt with a light tube, and it went into just some bystander kid's hand, and he lost all the nerves in his hand.
Oh my god!
What was it? I think Neil hit somebody with a crutch, and a big wooden piece flew off and hit my dad's friend in the face. Like, thankfully, it was my dad's friend.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was gonna. Our biggest show. We were running legit shows at DJ Spinners.
I know.
And
I went to one.
And they built us a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
Those guys absolutely just took all of our money. Now that I look back on it, because they would give us like $500, and we thought we were just killing.
Yeah.
We drew 500 people to one show. Our
That's
first show was
crazy.
300. The second show was 500.
How much were you
all-
charging?
Maybe $10.
Okay, still do the math.
Yeah, and then all we did was flyer. We didn't advertise it. We just literally made our own flyers, and I would go to Tops and
What was
stick
the
them in
ring made
magazine. They built it.
Was it stiff as hell? Or
I remember being really stiff, but then again, I had no wrestling ring experience. So, like, now I look back on it, that was like we had zero training, zero.
Yeah.
Like we slow mode ECW tapes to watch how they took bumps, and that's like the fact that nobody broke their neck in that wrestling ring is ridiculous.
Yeah. I still have injuries
That's
from EGW. I'm not kidding.
My best friend Tiny, who just
Torn ACL.
works for the gas company now, has
Yeah.
a huge scar. Someone threw a sheet, like a legit
remember.
plate of glass, like hamburger meat, just all across his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he works for the gas company. He's married with kids.
Yeah.
But so what? I don't know when. Like sometimes when indie shows like can't draw, I really don't feel bad for them because I was 18 years old and drew 500 people.
Yeah.
With flyers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it.
I was there. I saw it.
Yeah, it was real.
I saw Chet the Jet.
Yeah.
brain himself on the ground.
Oh, when he knocked
Show
himself
over.
unconscious? Yeah,
Show over.
third match, show over.
Show over. Was that one?
Yeah, third match in. Got an Undertaker dive. His feet caught the top of the rope and just
boy.
brained on a floor like this. It was my best friend. He landed right in front of me, and I heard his head go like on the floor. And then I was like, Neil, and I shook him. And he was going. And I was like, like, I thought he was dead. I was like 18 years old. I was like, oh my god. I'm pretty sure I started crying. And then the show was over.
Yeah, I remember that whole. I remember that whole day. Remember that whole day. I remember talking to you before.
Oh, really?
You were like 160 pounds.
Yeah. No, I remember I wore like a really tight shirt at that show because I just started getting muscles.
Yeah.
Like I just started working out. And I was wearing Adidas tracksuit pants.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking those the other day if those came back in style.
Yeah.
Not the tracksuit pants, the parachute pants.
Oh, dude, I went searching for them.
They're so
the other
comfy.
day.
It's like you're not wearing anything.
Oh, another thing to
those
just
came
put,
back, that'd
to
be
put
sweet.
over North Tonawanda,
Yeah.
because it's always going to be an ongoing theme.
Yeah.
There's a billiards place down here called Al's Billiards on Oliver. They used to have a 3-on-3 hockey, like floor hockey league.
Yeah.
That was basically just Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
I was gonna say
You went in there and just fight. I remember this one. I remember
Price Zero hockey.
Wes taking a stick to the face. I thought he lost his eye because he was on the ground holding his face like this.
Oh.
This is no bullshit.
Yeah, blood
this is
was
how
pouring.
a brawl started.
It was basically
It was just
Mad
bam,
Max
and he goes like
Beyond
this,
Thunderdome.
and he's sitting there going like this. He's he's got his head in his hands, or his hands in his head, and he's just bleeding everywhere. And I'm just seeing blood pull out of his face. And that fucker stands up like this with a hand thing and just goes, boom, and throws it at the bench and goes, fuck you! Just blood everywhere. And just instantly we just start fighting. Men, grown men. We were like boys.
Yeah.
Growing like
Yeah.
old. I'm talking like a pool of blood. He just threw it at the fucking thing and then we just started fighting. We had like, dude, it was amazing. Perfect place for wrestling though.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it, because you could put a ring in there and then just have, you ever been up there?
I don't think so.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. It's so fucking cool.
3-on-3 hockey.
Dude, you could
Just floor
slap
hockey?
it. You could slap it from one net and get it in on the other net.
There was probably so many dudes that played that had zero hockey
Oh,
experience.
yeah.
Like just wanted to go and fight people.
There was a goalie that we just called the fuck goalie because anytime you get here close to him, he'd be like fuck, 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 fuck. They called him the fuck goalie. And I want to say like if you guys remember, if you guys watched not Jackass, but what was it called? Oh, what was it called before Jackass? Can't Kill Yourself.
CKY, yeah.
So they would have like the CKY videos. Do you remember like the whole like football gimmick with Kelly Goosecock and Thomas Shit?
No.
I want to say that like for 4 seasons my name was Kelly Goosecock.
Yeah.
And his Wes's name was Thomas Shit with 2 T's and then a C. Like that's how we played. That's where you put your name down.
Yeah.
I remember this one time too. I took a slash across the forearm. I remember like being at home, like riding my bike down, and that's how long it was. Like how long ago it was. Like I rode my bike to Al's Billiards to play with men, 30 to 40-year-old men.
Who
in this
wanted to
league.
beat you up?
And I took a fucking slash right across the forearm, and it like instantly like
Swelled
right
up.
on the bone. It swelled up. I thought I broke my forearm, but I remember like telling my parents like, "All right, I'm going to play hockey," and then like was back like 15 minutes later, and I walked in the house, looked over, and Dad is just standing there with a fucking rock hard boner, just naked. He was just fucking nailing down on my mom.
Oh,
And I caught him. I go, hey, all right, hey, I gotta go to the hospital. I think my forearm's broken. And he's like, oh shit, yeah, we'll be right out.
Oh my god.
My dad was just full on, just rager. Right, standing sideways too, like I saw everything. Butt naked.
One of the best teenage jerk off stories of all time is Koa.
Yeah.
Was like
I think I've heard this.
at his parents' house. His parents were on vacation.
Yeah.
So he thought he's like in the clear and he's like in his bedroom and he just like cranks one all over himself and like passes out in this like lazy boy chair. And then so he's like shirtless, load all over himself. And then he wakes up, like passes out, wakes up, doesn't know how long he's been sleeping.
Fell asleep with load all over himself.
Because his parents were on vacation.
Yeah, so you know.
Yeah, so just lay in your fucking cum.
So then he woke up and his parents were just completely home. Like he had no idea how long he'd been sleeping for, how long he'd been laying there. And he was just like, oh fuck.
Oh my
Bedroom door was open. He's just on the chair. His parents
My
are just
God.
unpacked. They've been home for a while.
Jesus Christ. There was I came
real
home-
quick. One of the funniest things I ever saw in backyard wrestling was we had an overweight guy named Floby. That was
Okay.
that was his name in high school. Damn, I feel really bad. I don't remember his. They were in a tag team called the Pimp Squad Express, and I don't remember his name, but his nickname in high school was Floby. Big overweight brother. He was wrestling a guy. They were on the trampoline, knocked dude off the trampoline. We're in some, our buddy's backyard. And he just, overweight dude just, jumps, hits the trampoline to get, some serious air and, dive onto the kid off the trampoline. And, nobody even could see it. He just dives and just hits a clothesline. A legit clothesline for clothes. But, nobody, so, he's in the air and all of a sudden just, where? And just, distorts in the air and wipes out. And we're all just holy fuck.
Like CGI. Like a body doesn't move that way.
And not it's not like Kevin Bennett or Blackwood up there, this big overweight kid. When just seeing him do the jump, we're all like, holy shit. And then all of a sudden he just nails his clothesline and CGI's in the air.
Amazing.
Dude, that might be one of the biggest pops I've heard out of 10 people in my life. We lost our minds.
I have two stories like that.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell this other one first. So to go back to jerking off and stuff like that. So when I was a kid, there was a pastor's kid that lived across the street named Tim Favacini, full name. After this story, we called him Big Mac Attack for the rest of his life. I don't know where he is now. He moved to Cleveland. I think he has kids. He loves fishing or something. But so we used to play football right by my house. There was a big open field. We would play football, and then always go to my house and get a Bob's Pizza. So my parents were away. I don't know why, but I was always the guy that always had porn at my house. That guy.
You had it or your dad?
I did. I don't know.
Oh,
There was I'm pretty sure my dad had porn or me. I don't know. But there was always porn.
Real quick on porn though, one of the funniest things ever was in high school was when Mitch had a station wagon called Methuselah.
Yeah.
And Mitch would drive a station wagon, and Guy would they would get porno mags.
Presents for heaven.
Yeah, gift from above.
Yeah.
They would literally drive by teenagers and whip porno mags at them and scream "gift from above,"
Which is amazing.
That's the best because the whole point was just imagine being a teenager, and porno mags just landing in front of you, oh my god. Sorry to interrupt your story.
The first porno I ever jerked off to was called Educating Nina with Nina Hartley. My dad owned that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe he was doing this to that. But anyways, my parents were gone, and everyone knew where the porn was. Like Wes would be like, hey, can I go grab a porn? Yeah, sure. And then he would go grab where the porn was. And then,
but this was your porn, not your dad's?
I think it was my dad's at the time.
Okay.
But everybody knew where it was.
Yeah.
So anyways, porn is there, blah, blah, blah. So my parents are away. We're playing football, and Tim Favacini decides that he's gonna leave early. The game's not over yet, and we're all what the fuck, So we the game's over. We go back to my house to order Bob's Pizza. When we go in, man is sprawled out on the ground in front of my TV. Porno is on.
Going to town.
And there is no remnants of a Big Mac anywhere to be found. But there are he's got towel, a paper towel laid out and stuff like that. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? Why is there porn on TV? Why do you got all these paper towels? And he goes, oh, I just finished a Big Mac. I'm like, where's the container? And he's like, oh, I opened the container at my house and I just figured you guys would be over here. I'm like, oh yeah, you did, huh? I knew, obviously, the guy was fucking jerking off in my house.
What was it, Big Mac Attack?
Big Mac Attack,
Yeah,
we called him for the rest of his life. We called him Big Mac Attack because he claimed that he was eating a Big Mac and not jerking off to Nina Hartley's
That's so
nice
fucking
fake tits.
random.
Dude, it sucked. So the other one,
So obviously
to go
busted.
back to the clothesline one, we had this dude in the neighborhood named Walt Perkowski. He wasn't the most coordinated of dudes. He did break my collarbone once though, so he has that on me.
Gotcha.
So, do you know the cart corral things and so the cart corrals at Tops supermarket in our area. We're playing hockey in a Tops parking lot, and Walt Prokowski goes for the stray ball Like there's always a stray ball
Yeah.
in when you're playing on you're playing street hockey. So he goes for this thing and he's like looking at the tip of his stick. He's not paying attention to what's in front of him and just catches the cart corral. Flips over it, and he pulls like when dudes do dives and their shins hit the fucking guardrail. He fucking pulls over here, boom! Shins hit the other side of the guardrail. Dude, it was so gnarly, and I thought I was gonna die from laughing so hard. Like it was so fucking funny.
Was
and
he
then
hurt?
Oh yeah, but not like hurt enough to go. Like he ran it off and it was fine. Dude, 10 minutes later. This like old Mustang, like an old like 65 Mustang, is just driving through and then just hits the car corral. Like the guy wasn't paying attention. It was like an invisible car corral, the same one, and he blasts it and it goes fucking like 30. I mean, like if anyone was in front of it, within 50 feet would have been dead. Like it fucking flew, and he fucked his 1965 Mustang up. I mean, dude,
Mustang.
he blasted the thing. It was cool. That was awesome.
Ask Mitch about the time. This is one of the grossest things I've ever seen.
Cool.
We were playing street hockey, and it's freezing outside. It was wintertime, but there's no snow, but it was just really cold.
Yeah.
And we're playing with one of those like the orange plastic
Yeah,
balls.
of course.
So it's freezing outside, so the thing's basically like rock solid.
Yeah.
Out of that dumb rule where like if the goalie saves it, puts it behind the net, and then Mitch was just gonna slap shot it like down.
Yeah, clear the puck.
Yeah, clear the puck.
Yeah.
So like I don't know how this happened. Like goalie saves it, gives it to Mitch. Mitch rips a slap shot, and this kid Laz is just standing right in front of him, like not paying attention.
Yeah.
Mitch just literally ripped a slap shot right into the dude's face. Like the
Yeah.
ball just went like right in his face. Like it was like he went down, like he like crumbled, like he got shot with a gun.
Yeah.
And it was just like I was standing right there. I remember it's like oh my god, because like it's so cold. And that orange plastic ball just straight in your grill.
Yeah.
Like, dude, his eye swelled up instantly.
Yeah.
It was so gnarly.
I can't remember.
Like, I mean, dude, dead on.
I had a similar
Ask Mitch about it.
situation where I blasted. It was like a wrist shot and hit a dude in the eye. And this is right in like Gratwick Fire Hall's parking lot. It was his last name was Hansen. I can't remember his first name, but I hit him in the eye, and I swear on my life to this day, his tooth is still blue. Like I hit him in the eye, and his tooth went blue.
Oh.
Like his like front
just, like,
tooth or something
traveled?
like that. Yeah, like went blue, and it's still blue.
Oh, man.
Like it just killed his tooth.
Who's
I hit him in the eye.
Who's the dude from the Sabres?
Clint Malarchuk.
Malarchuk?
Yeah.
Okay, I was forgetting his
Dude.
name.
Watch,
I saw it. I actually...
did you watch the 30 for 30?
No, they did.
They did a 30 for 30.
Just
him.
on that?
Yes.
Really?
That dude's life went in a downward spiral after that.
Oh, really?
Like crazy depression, blah, blah, blah. He's like one of the coaches on Phoenix, I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like he's a goalie coach. Dude, he fucking shot himself in the fucking head.
Oh, my
Went to
God.
kill himself, put a gun in his mouth, and lived. He had to put his face back together.
Oh, my God.
Dude, you gotta watch that 30 for 30. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
He, like, I remember I saw it live. I'm not that big of a hockey guy. My dad was watching it.
Yeah.
I remember my dad and my uncle, like, freaking out. And then I remember, like, even on the news, when they showed it, like, they couldn't, even just showing it for a second,
Dude.
you could still see, like,
Blood
a fountain
shooting.
of blood. Yeah, like, literally, you would just see, like, they showed it, you would see a squirt of blood, and then they would cut it. Like,
I've never
they
said the
couldn't
word-
show it without seeing the blood. There
The
was
word,
so
the
much
word
blood.
jettison. Jettison.
Whatever
It
it is,
jettisons out of his face. I've never said that word. But I'm pretty sure it means shooting.
Is it a real word?
I've heard it used before.
Right? Okay. I want to
shooting
start
out of
smart
his head.
here for the podcasters. Listen.
The pool of blood underneath him was...
Wild.
Phew.
Yeah, if you want to look, Clint Malarchuk, I think it was like
Early
93.
90s. Yeah.
Like he took a skate to the neck, and it hit him right
Cut
in the
like his main
jugular.
vein. That happened again in the
Oh, yeah,
NHL,
yeah.
too.
One of the grossest things I ever saw, and if Wes is like a statistician on hockey, like he's worshipped hockey since the day he was alive.
Yeah.
He will know what I'm talking about, but there was a dude who like at one point in time, basically where the glass hits the wall.
Yeah, where it meets the wall. Though.
Yeah. It used to be a little more out. Like there used to be like a shelf.
Okay, like a ridge.
Yeah. Now it's a little more flush.
Yeah.
when that happened, a dude got blasted in the back. Like, took a cross check from back, and his
Yeah.
head hit that thing,
Yeah.
and it peeled his face back.
Oh,
Like, that one was pretty bad. I don't remember who it was, but
I can't. Clint Malarchuk shot himself in the face.
yeah, years later,
Yeah, but still, like,
and lived.
holy fuck.
You gotta watch it, man. It's crazy. And now, like, his life is like, he's still like a manic depressant,
Yeah.
but he's got like his life's like
At least
back.
it's still going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm embarrassed to say this. I've actually still never watched the, was it 30 for 30 on the Bills and the four
Oh
Super
yeah,
Bowls?
that was the 60. Yeah. 30 for 30.
E60, it was
This
E60?
E60 was the Clint Malarchuk. 30 for 30
the
is
Buffalo.
yeah.
I can't, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched
It's great.
it. I'm embarrassed.
It's great.
That's so good.
Yeah, if you really want to know about Buffalo though, and you really want to know what Buffalo's about,
Yeah.
just watch Dead Set on Life, the episode that I'm on, with Maddie Matheson, because I'll tell you what Buffalo's about.
Wait.
If you want to know,
Is that old or is it new?
it's new.
Is
It,
that
it, it premiered the day of our Christmas show at Waiting Room.
I don't think I've seen it. I've seen a lot of your stuff.
Basically, when you go to like City Hall, they should have it playing at all times.
Gotcha. Hey, remember when we gave, I can't think of his name, Terrell Owens the key to the city?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was cool.
yeah, super popular.
Yeah, it was a great idea for 1 year.
Yeah, he was awful.
The map change video was sick, by the way.
Yeah, that's what Buffalo is.
Who
The-
filmed that?
Some dudes. I'm horrible at that. I met them. They were great. The one dude has a real 1980s vibe.
And they just did they literally just go to like
They
legit
came
bingo
here for-
places and stuff?
They came here for 2 weeks and just started grabbing shit.
Really?
And the only thing that sucks is they went in and got all the wrestling stuff that's in it, like the like actual like high school wrestling
Yeah.
stuff in it. They never told the dudes what it was for. They were just in there filming.
Yeah.
And then when it came out, like that school,
Uh-huh.
I think it was like Lancaster
Like
or something
Testify
like
or
that.
something?
We're just like, we need that out now.
Oh.
Well, that starts with a hooker talking about Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah. That
So
sucks.
whatever, who cares? We didn't take it out.
Yeah, it's
Come at
still
us.
in there. Come at
Come
me,
at
dog.
us, dude.
Come at me, dog.
We got your fucking paper that said you signed off on it. I think.
It's a good video.
Yeah.
Real good video.
Yeah. All right. Now we can wrap it up. We got some stuff in there.
All right.
You and I basically talked the whole time. They talked. I never asked you what was your ring entrance.
Passenger by Deftones.
That was like the first.
Literally, like, because I got.
When did you start thinking you
It's
were
a
going to become a
super
wrestler?
slow song, isn't it?
Yeah, but it has a like
It's like kind of like a sinister.
It's like a
Purpose.
slow, like,
Oh, the guitar.
but like a heavy slow.
It's kind of like
Yeah,
Sinister
yeah.
Purpose by Creedence.
It's literally not even remotely like that.
It's like a similar vibe. It's kind of
It's
weird.
really cool. It comes in. Yeah.
Totally fits with
When did you think
Fits
you were
with,
going
like,
to become a
aggression.
wrestler?
I initially
Like, what
thought,
was it?
I initially thought that in like I think it was 2013 I wanted to try, and I actually went out to Rochester.
How old were you?
What was that, 4 years ago? So I was probably like 21, 22.
Okay.
So yeah, I still thought about it late. Or I started even later.
Yeah.
But I went to Rochester, and because there's the school out there,
Yeah.
and I met Hellcat,
Hellcat.
and he told me that Colin did
Like
training.
Stargazer?
Star. No.
I have a
Star-
picture of
what is it?
Stargazer.
Is it Gazer? No.
Yeah.
Star.
Stargazer.
Stargazer.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I have a Polaroid with him.
Yeah, you do.
Me and Oliver Street Express.
Oh,
We paid for that Polaroid.
Of course you did.
Holy
It's
shit!
fucking Stargazer, man. All right, go ahead.
No, I went out there.
Hellcat.
I met Hellcat, and I talked to
Colin.
like some of the guys there. He told me that Colin Delaney did training Sundays and Wednesdays, which did not coincide with my work schedule, and I wasn't able to change that. But I went out, and it was on a Tuesday because I didn't work on Tuesdays. And the guys there were like, "Well, Colin does training Sundays and Wednesdays, but if you want to come on Tuesdays, we're in the ring rolling around. We can teach you some stuff." So I went back the following Tuesday, and nobody was there. So I just assumed they ribbed me and were like fucking me over, and I never went back.
Yeah.
It either could have been that, or I mean, it might have just been like.
It might have just been a
showing up that
random
day.
thing, but like I took it personally, and I was like, oh,
I mean,
Yeah.
fuck
can't
that.
say I blame you. Yeah, that sucks.
What about you, Bennett? What was your first like wrestling memory? I mean, you started way earlier than any of us.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
I started like 2 years ago. I'm gonna be 40 this year.
Well, I became a wrestling fan when I was like 7.
Yeah.
So, and it was from Nintendo. Like,
Yeah.
No Mercy.
Yeah.
Like some kid showed me the game, and that's when I saw Jeff Hardy doing the swantons off the ladder.
So it's like I'm literally when he was saying like a video game, I was thinking like, oh yeah, pro wrestling for Nintendo, like with Starman. And
Oh,
like,
Starman?
yeah,
King Kong
yeah,
Kong?
Yeah.
Kong
Oh no,
Kong?
Mercy that I started playing at like 18. Never mind.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the game that
Yeah.
got me into it.
And you don't know what was the first like time you watched like wrestling? Like you actually watched matches. Do you remember like dudes you watched?
I don't know. I remember asking my mom to buy. I think it was like WrestleMania 19.
Yeah.
And
20 was sick.
and like I don't know. There was one
20 was
part.
good.
There was one part of that WrestleMania with like the hype videos and everything that really like disturbed me. And I was like, I don't know if I should like be watching this because it like bothered me. But it was like. It was like, it was Vince McMahon and Hogan. They were feuding.
Yeah.
And I don't know
They did like a ladder match.
well, it was, I don't know what he was doing to him, but it looked like he was like stabbing Hogan in the head with a pen.
Yeah.
And
That
like,
was
he was
exactly what he was doing.
I
Yeah,
think,
they
dude,
got color.
It was
Yeah.
graphic though, and it like really like churned my stomach. And I was like, I really don't know if like this is for me.
You
Yeah.
see,
But then I watched Rey Mysterio versus Matt Hardy, which was like the opener, and I was like, all right,
Oh,
we're
that was
back.
sweet.
Yeah. And then it was a wrap after that.
see, I started watching right before the Attitude Era began.
Yeah.
And I initially, my favorite was Macho Man in WCW.
Yeah.
But as Stone Cold rose to prominence, he
yeah.
of course became like,
Kinda took
as a
over.
young kid, he's just beating people up and drinking beer and like getting away with
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
the people love him for it. So I thought that was sick. But there was so much blood all the time that like my toys, I like drew blood on them with like
Yeah.
a Crayola red marker that I would wash off because
Yeah.
I needed like.
Yeah.
I was like 6, so I was like, this is sick. The blood.
Yeah.
The more blood, the better.
Stone Cold got color like all the
Oh
time.
man, he was great. What about you, Jesse?
The first, like I always say, I don't remember the first time I saw wrestling.
Yeah.
Because I think I was so little.
I can tell you mine. My parents used to bowl on Sunday nights. So Sunday nights was like all out. I could just do whatever the fuck I wanted. I could watch I remember watching like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Like early on, like 7.
Yeah.
Watching like that. My sister would be like babysitting me, and she's a little older than me, so she would be like with her friends.
Just didn't care.
And I would just sit there and just watch anything. And I remember late at night, NWA's on, and it was that match with it was Road Warriors versus Midnight Express on the scaffold,
Oh.
and it was it. Like just seeing
Yeah, as a
fucking
kid,
Road
you-
Warriors.
yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, a scaffold match.
Yeah.
Like,
And
holy
then
shit.
as soon as I knew that, like I almost felt like I knew about something that no one else knew about because it was on so late.
Mhm.
And I just remember that. I was like, fuck, man. I was probably like 7 or 8 years old. And I was like, well, thought I was watching something that no one knew about. And my sister got this boyfriend named Brett Setlack. His dad was the chief of police for North Tonawanda at the time. And he was friends with this high school wrestler dude named John Lewis, and John Lewis used to come over, and I don't know, my fucking sister probably like blew Brett Setlack or fucked him or something like that. So like I would be left with John Lewis, who was like a wrestler in high school. So I just heard wrestler, and I was like, whoa,
Yeah,
like,
guys,
you're into wrestling? And then he like knew when wrestling was on.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. I was just like at that point in time, you didn't know what a TV guide was. It was just like, oh god, there's this thing on.
Yeah.
You know?
2 o'clock.
So I remember he used to bring over like Pro Wrestling Illustrated, like all of his magazines,
Yeah.
and then we would sit there and he would like tell me about like dudes. And I remember like early on, maybe it's because he was a wrestler, and I knew he wore headgear, and he was like this dude that showed me what wrestling was.
Yeah.
Rick Steiner was like the coolest
Yeah,
thing
of
in the world
course.
because he had the headgear on.
Yeah.
But it was like LOD, Road Warriors. That scaffold match, man, was just like, oh. Like from that point on, and you've heard this a million times probably with me. Like I used to like straight up get in fucking like fist fights at school when dudes would bring up that Hulk Hogan was like the best wrestler on earth. Like, you fucking the real champion is Ric Flair.
Like I didn't know what amateur wrestling was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So like I didn't know what Rick Steiner had on his head. Like I just thought.
Oh,
of,
yeah,
like,
I had
oh,
no
he-
clue what that
yeah,
was.
I was like, oh, he's just like a goofy guy, so he has
Yeah.
that on his head. Like I had no idea what that was.
I love that.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about him was that he wore 2 different boots,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
like
yeah.
2 different colors.
Their old singlets and gear was just
Awesome.
incredible. Yeah.
Awesome.
Like I don't know why, but I think like earliest stuff. Like I think I liked Bret Hart a lot, but like I watched wrestling way before that too. Because I remember like Hogan and Bundy in a cage.
Yeah.
And like, but yeah, just I guess I remember like even when it was the Hart Foundation, like I really liked Bret Hart, and then when he started doing like singles stuff,
Yeah.
I remember his finisher was a pile driver, and
Yeah.
I was like, man, this guy's just awesome.
Yeah.
And I found it on YouTube. I always remember like one of the first like kind of like high flying matches I saw was they did Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart.
Yeah.
But they were both in Rockers and Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
They did a singles match, and I think it was literally just Bret gave Shawn like a side slam to his feet, and I like lost my mind. Like,
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that in my
landed
life.
on his feet.
But the match is actually on YouTube, and I just watched it not too long ago. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Of course it was.
yeah, I don't remember like the first time ever seeing it. I just always watched it.
Yeah. Which is great.
Yeah, rules.
All right, we can finish there. That was great.
Yeah.
Everybody was involved in that
Why
last
don't
one.
they? You guys want to give your social medias?
Yeah.
Kevin doesn't need it.
Yeah,
How about
Kevin
this,
doesn't
Kevin? How about
need
we
it.
tell your guys ours?
Yeah, exactly. Can we put ours up for you? For us?
Yeah.
Blackwood, you go first.
Well, I'm Instagram and Twitter, Blackwood666. BLAXKWOOD because the with the C was already taken.
With the 666?
Yeah, that username was taken on both, so I did the X, and that's safe.
Pretty sweet. Kevin
Is that
Bennett.
all you got? Oh.
Related, actually, I tattoo at Arboreal Inc., 1745 Hurdle Ave in Buffalo, New York.
Good
Get
call.
that in there.
Good call.
I like it. Okay, you can find me on Facebook, The Kevin Bennett. Kevin Bennett Music on Facebook as well. We got Instagram, The Kevin Bennett. Twitter, The Kevin Bennett. Kevin Bennett Music on YouTube as well. And then you could buy beats from me because that's what I do. I'm a hip-hop producer. You can buy beats, 8thAveBeats.com because we're here on 8th Ave.
No Tonawanda.
This is my studio here on 8th Ave.
Sweatbox Studio.
Yep. 8thAveBeats.com. You could type in 8th Ave Beats on YouTube also. So I'm everywhere on social media. Just type me in.
The 8th Ave Express.
Yes.
And that's it.
That's it.
Heat's in the ring, brother.
Hey, had any complaints? Yeah, watch my episode of DSOL where I talk about Buffalo.
I'm actually going to check that out.
Yeah.
And at Braxton Sutter and at Braxton Sutter on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Party on.
Heat's in the ring, brother.
He's in the ring.
Heat's in the ring, brother.
The best thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.